Does a higher conversion rate always equal more sales? No, not always. Hi, I'm Paige from the Impact Copywriter, and I help founders and marketers boost the conversion rates for their most critical campaigns by focusing specifically on their marketing messages, or as we like to call it, the copy. Today I'm sharing with you a story where a lower conversion rate actually brought in more sales. Now you might be thinking, whoa, like how is that possible? So let's actually walk through what happened. So I had written a sales page for a client of mine. And about the 30-day mark after delivering, I checked in for a progress update. And my client told me that right out of the gate, the sales page was converting at 22%, which is amazing. But then they did some traffic changes and they widened the nets to bring in more potential prospects. And the conversion rate for that sales page dropped to 8%. Now keep in mind, nothing about the sales page changed. What changed was earlier in the funnel. It was the traffic strategy. So by widening the nets, my client effectively brought in more people who weren't necessarily a strong fit for the product, which is likely why the conversion rate dropped. But I knew enough to ask about the traffic strategy. I said, well, how did that change how much traffic you were getting? And they told me that they increased their traffic by tenfold. So let's look at the numbers. And of course, we'll just use some simple numbers for illustration here. So let's say we were getting originally 100 visitors to the sales page, and it was converting at 22%, which means we were converting 22 customers. Now, in the second scenario, we increased the traffic by 10 times, which means we're now getting 1,000 visitors to the sales page, but it's only converting at 8%, and that works out to 80 customers. So let's compare that. In scenario 1, we were converting at 22% and we generated 22 customers, but scenario 2, we were converting at 8% with more traffic and we converted 80 customers. So considering that the price of the product didn't change at all, we almost 4x'd the sales in that campaign. Now keep in mind, this doesn't factor in ad cost. I wasn't privy to that information. So if you were doing a similar calculation for yourself, you would want to factor in your ad cost as well, because that's part of the system and the effectiveness of that system. The reason I'm telling you this is you can't always look at conversion rates as an isolated metric, because that conversion rate is part of a bigger system. And as with my client's experience, one big change earlier in the funnel will likely affect the performance of everything downstream. Conversion rates are a wonderful metric to use to judge whether the changes you're making are having a positive or negative impact. But just remember to look at that conversion rate in the context of everything that's happening around it. If you need help running higher converting campaigns and you want a partner who can see the bigger picture, let's chat. You can start a project conversation with me over at theimpactcopywriter.com.